Hi fifth graders, today we're going to learn about drawing the proportions of the human face. And we're going to use this as our map. Now you'll notice that the head is an oval, not a circle. And everybody's head is shaped a little differently, but for today we're going to practice by using an oval. You'll see these lines on our paper. This line down the center is called our line of symmetry. That is the line that divides the two halves. And on both sides of the line of symmetry, we want things to try to look symmetrical, which means they look the same on the left and the right. Halfway between the top of the head and the chin is another line that divides the top of your head and the bottom half of your head. The top half of your head will start with your eyes. That's why we're going to call this the eye line. Then you're going to have your eyebrows, your forehead, and your hairline. And then halfway on the bottom half, halfway between your eye line and your chin, is this line, and that's going to be our nose line. And then halfway between our nose line and our chin here, and that is our mouth line. So this is what we're going to start with to do our drawing. For this assignment, you will need a smooth, hard surface for drawing. You will need a copy of the map of the human face proportions. You will need a white blank piece of paper. You will need a sharpened pencil and a good eraser. So we're going to take this paper and we're going to put a white piece of paper over the top of it so that we can see through to those guidelines. Now, first thing I'm going to do is trace the head just softly so that I can erase it if I make a mistake. I'm not going to trace the whole top of the head, and I'm not going to trace the lines in the middle. Those are the map lines that we're just going to use through the paper so we can see what we're doing. Okay, so right here on the eye line is where we're going to start. We are going to remember that the width of our eye is the same width as the width between our eyes. So we're going to get a spot. I like to use my eraser and mark a section on the line, and then make sure to do the same width out from there. So basically, we have three sections, 1, 2, 3, that are equal distance from one another. Straight down from these dots, down on the nose line, I'm going to make another dot, straight down to there. That's another guideline we're going to use. That's going to be the width of the bottom of our nose, which is the same as the width between the eyes. Then in between these two, we're going to put a dot for the pupil, halfway. Then I'm going to go down, straight down to here, and that's going to be the corners and the edges of my mouth, on the mouth line. Now another guideline we need to draw is straight out from the nose line. I'm going to make a dot over here. That's going to be the bottom of my ear, straight out from the nose line over here. And then just about a 1/4 inch above the eye line here, I'm going to do it again for the top of the ear. So now I have my whole page mapped out for the parts of the face. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the top half of the arches of the eye. Okay. Now remember, our eye is not an oval shape, it is elliptical, which means it's like an oval but with corners on either side. I like to say it's shaped like an almond or a football. So if you can do that football shape, the top half and then the bottom half. And we try to make them look symmetrical. Remember, the line of symmetry means it looks the same on the left and the right. If I don't have an outcome that I like, I erase and I fix. Always erase and fix. Make the eyes look about the same shape. Not everybody's face is symmetrical, but for this drawing, we're going to do our best. Okay, and inside of our elliptical shape, inside of our football, I like to say, we're going to draw 2 large circles. Those large circles are for our irises. Do you see they touch the top and the bottom of that surface? They don't leave space above and below. Generally, that's how we see someone's eyes when we look at them. We see the white on the sides, not usually on top and bottom. That is called the iris. The iris is where we get our eye color. So if you have brown eyes or blue eyes or hazel eyes, that's the section that has that color. In the center of that, we're going to try to center and make another circle in the middle. That is for our pupil. Now the pupil on everybody is black. We want to make sure that those are the same size and that they're basically centered. The pupil is the part of the eye that gets larger and smaller based on the amount of light that it needs to let in. Now later when we color that in, it won't look as strange because right now they're white. So from there, we want to go straight to the corners of the eyes. Here we have little tear ducts. We're going to draw that in like this. That gives our eyes a little bit of depth so they don't just look like flat shapes. And then those will be pink later on. Now we have the folds of skin around our eyes called our eyelids. When our eye is open, they're folded back. When our eye is closed, it's smooth. But since our eye is open in this picture, we're going to draw those eyelids in. And it's just basically a smooth crease across the top of your eye. Try to make them look symmetrical if possible. And it even includes a little crease under here and a little bit over here, okay? So now we have the folds for our eyelids. Next, we want to talk about our eyelashes. Now, our eyelashes are not straight lines like this. If you notice when your eyelash falls out, it's a little bit of a soft, curved line like this. So we're going to start from the elliptical shape, not from the eyelid, and we're just going to softly curve up, not dark, not hard, soft curve, soft, 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 all the way to the corner of your eye. Now you'll do the same for the bottom row of lashes, except the bottom row of lashes has smaller lashes. So we're going to go do the same thing, but even smaller. Okay, all the way across. And then I'm going to do the same for the other eye. Soft and smooth, not too long, not too dark. You don't want it to look like you're wearing mascara. Just going to have smooth, small, short lines. Now, for the placement of our eyebrows. Straight up from the corner of our eye, about the width of a pencil, with the space in between. I'm going to put a mark up here. The space between your eyebrow and your eyelid is about the width of a pencil on this page. So then you're going to come up here and make another mark. If I don't like where I put it, I erase it and I fix. So I have my eyebrow starting about right here. If I continue this curve out here like this, this is where my eyebrow is going to end. So I'm going to go like this. My eyebrow is going to end. Now that's going to give me a good guideline of where to start and where to stop with my eyebrows. Now our eyebrows are arched. We don't want to arch them too high or we're going to look excited. We don't want them to be too flat or we'll look sad or mad. So we're going to arch up along with the shape of our eye and then begin to arch down with the shape of our eye and stop at the dot. And then the same, we can go up here a little bit higher, arch up, and then begin to arch down. And as you arch down, your eyebrow is going to get skinnier, so it's going to meet down there at that same dot. So we're going to arch up, arch down, same, across the top. And remember, that line of symmetry means the left and the right need to look as much same as possible. Okay, so now we have the outline of our eyebrows. Next, we're going to do the outline of our ears. Now, when you look directly at someone, you don't see their whole entire ear. You see a flatter version of it. So just for the sake of simplicity today, we're just going to make the top part of the lobe. We're going to narrow down and we're going to make the bottom part. Okay? So we're just going to make this simple shape for this assignment. I'm going to come down and then out for the lobe. Now the top of your ear and the bottom of your ear have a curve, okay? So they have some contours inside, which we can do later, which we can complete later. Next, we're going to go to the nose. So straight down from here, you have these two dots that you made on the nose line. That is the outer ridge of your nostril area. So we're going to just do, like I like to say, a little parentheses on those sides right there. So take your little dots and turn them to parentheses. That shows the outer curve of outside your nostril. Then right here where you have the crisscross of your line of symmetry and your nose line, we're going to do a little curve like this, okay? That's the bottom of your nose tip. Next, we're going to do our nostrils. Now our nostrils are circles, but we don't see the entire circle when we're looking at someone directly straight on. So we're going to draw a small little teardrop kind of oval version of the nostril, not going all the way to the parentheses, stopping right before. Then we have the outer ridge of our nose. Then we can bring this little shape up a little bit higher right here, and that shows the tip of our nose. Now, we don't generally draw lines straight up like here. Those lines are implied when we do shading, but I'll give you some guidelines for the shading. We'll put a little bit of lines right here, where the bones of your nose are at the top, a little bit of lines here to show where your nose tip is, and a little bit here. Okay, that'll give you good basic outlines for your nose parts when it comes time to shading. Now down to the lip line. The lip line we marked with the pupils, lining up with the pupils. for now, we're going to make it straight across. This is not a smiling person, it's just a straight lips. But this is what your mouth looks like with no lips, just from the corner of your mouth to the other corner of your mouth. Our lips, however, begin above and below that. So our bottom lip will begin just down here. Now, if you look in the mirror, you will see that your lips don't look like everybody else's, but today we're just going to do a general human mouth. So we're going to start at the bottom like this and go across straight. Then we're going to begin to curve up, and it's going to join this line before it gets to the end. We're not going to have it meet up all the way out here. And then I'm going to erase and make it symmetrical. Okay? So our bottom lip will come up and meet the line of our mouth before the corners. See, this space is still straight in this space. And then the same thing will happen over here. Right here I'm going to draw like a really faint circle that I'm going to erase later. And also from there I'm going to have these lines coming down. Those are going to be guidelines for shading later. But this will be the guideline for drawing my top lip. The front of our top lip comes down a little bit like this. And it's more defined on some people and less on others, but we're just going to do it like this. And we're going to have our lip join the line just like we did on the bottom. So now we have a top lip and a bottom lip. And now you can adjust this line to have a little more shape. Maybe it comes down a little bit right there before it goes across. Now finally we need to draw our chin. The top of our chin usually starts right about here under our lip. And maybe the chin that you have is not so round, maybe it's a little square, maybe it's a little straighter. So you can erase and adjust for the shape of the chin after you draw that part. Now our hairline is one part that people usually get confused about. We usually think when we're younger and we start to draw our hair, we draw our hair starting at the top of our head. But our hair doesn't begin at the top of our head. It begins at the top of our forehead. And our forehead is only about an inch or 2 inches maybe above our eyebrows. And everybody has a different size forehead, so you can just look in the mirror and decide how long you want yours to be before your hairline begins. And generally your hairline goes across the front of your forehead with a little bit of a curve like this before heading down to right in front of your ears. Now this is kind of a bald-headed looking thing, but this is just your general hairline. Now, the oval in our background of our picture is a little narrow at the top. So I'm going to take it out a little bit like this to give it more of a head shape at the top. Try to make it look the same on either side. And this is the general shape of a head with the hairline. So if you're a boy with short hair, this could be a good start for you to make your hair. If you're a girl with long hair, this is a good start if your hair is maybe pulled back in a ponytail. But for girls like myself who have my hair down, I will probably think about where my hair is parted. Okay, so if my hair is parted over here on the side, then I'll bring my hair across my head. Okay, and for the sake of showing my ears, I'm going to have the hair be behind the ears instead of in front of them, so we can continue to show our ears. So my hair is going to go in front of my ears over here, and then turn, go behind. Then the top of your hair comes over, and it continues behind your hair and down to your shoulders, or however long your hair is. Okay, so mine is going to be hanging down behind my shoulders, and I can erase this shape of my head if I'm a girl because you're not going to see that unless your hair is pulled back. So here's my hairline coming down, hair's kind of going, I'm not coloring it in with my pencil because I don't want it to look like pencil color. I want to give it some texture with my pencil, but later we'll color it in. Now, this is your basic contour drawing lines of the parts of your face. This is before shading. So after we add color and shading, it will begin to look more realistic. But this is how you draw the parts of the face with the correct proportions for a human anatomy. So after you get your sketch completed and you're happy with the symmetry, then we will get out our colored pencils, and as a class we will work on coloring and shading the final piece.